Hi, I'm Vicky Couchman. I'm in the Swiss Alps town of St. Moritz with my two photography students, Magda and Benjamin, and we're here for the Canon EOS Sports assignment. The last thing you'd think anybody would do on a frozen lake would be horse racing. But we're here to photograph all the drama and speed of the 2008 white turf season. The first lesson of sports photography is camera position. You have to have a good look at the venue and think through the elements that could impact upon your shot. Like, what path will the sun take? What's your best background? Good planning is vital for fast-paced events like this. Long lenses have the effect of compressing action, so Benjamin and Magda will be using a 200mm zoom lens. Getting in close, coupled with the right shutter speeds, will freeze the action and give us a sense of being in amongst the horses. At the end of the races, we'll capture a sense of the social event too. After all, not all of the action's on the track. If you're new to sports photography, one way of making your shot stand out is to find a sport that hasn't been photographed too much. And we've certainly found an unusual event here in St. Moritz. With his 70-200mm zoom lens, Benjamin's aiming for some striking action shots from the race. It's a tough assignment when you think that the horses will be galloping by in a couple of seconds. Focus and his camera position will be crucial. Magda's not photographed anything like this before, but we'll give it a go. However, both of them will need to be careful they don't underexpose their shots, as bright snow confuses the camera's light meter. So when shooting in snow, overexpose by up to 1.5 stops. There's lots to plan for when attempting a good sports shot. A great frozen moment of action can be undermined by a clumsy, busy background, so think carefully about this when you're scouting for a camera position. Try and predict when and where the action will fill your frame and what will be behind it. This is certainly possible with any sport on a circuit. The faster the action, the faster your shutter speed for the best crisp result. A large aperture, f2.8 for example, will reduce your depth of field, pulling the subject out of the background, but get ready to pan your camera quickly because these horses are going to be moving. A slow shutter speed will blur the image, which can imply speed. Select a small aperture, f11 or 22 for example, and the colours of your subject will be accentuated within the blur. Events like these always bring out some interesting characters, so if you think you have the action in the bag, turn your lens on the spectators. I've had a good look through your pictures from St. Moritz. I know from my own experience how challenging and difficult sports photography can be. This has been the hardest assignment so far, so I think you've done pretty well. Benjamin first.
Let's just take a look and see how we got on. So first off,
these start line shots are pretty good. This one has a better framing because it's straighter, but this one has more emotion, energy and power, with all the snow flying around and the horse's nostrils flaring. I like this one from behind the runners, but it needs slightly cropping over here on the left. Better to have aimed for a stronger framing camera, but it's a pretty good one all the same. I like this picture a lot. The horse is making an arrowhead shape, gives a real sense of speed. We can also see how the dark background makes the foreground subject stand out. Good progress. I can see you've progressively worked up to this one. It's a striking image of a really unusual sport, and you can really feel the guy hanging on for dear life. Excellent. On to Magda, where you've made a brave start. You've pursued the race start and found a good position to get yourself into and captured the horses flying out of the gates. The next one is a decent composition and has a good background, but it's a shame about the car. It really takes your attention away from the horses. This one has a simpler background and is much better for it. I think the best moment was probably a little bit earlier, but the framing of the horses is good and clear. Well done. Now, the background is strong here and there's some lovely light on the horse's neck, but the cameraman's in both the setups. Better planning for your camera position would have avoided them. I don't know whether this was intentional or not, but this one I quite like. You've thrown the focus and found a more abstract interpretation of the race. Thank you both very much. A really encouraging start. OK, on to the next assignment.
Keep exploring photography with Canon EOS.